Can anyone compete with the WWE? Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason. I came across an article recently on Facebook. Oh, it was a link on Facebook to another article on another website on the Bleacher Report. And I don't know if anybody you read any or follow anything on the Bleacher Report. It's kind of a hodgepodge of a million different sports, news bits on there. They cover NBA, NFL, baseball, UFC, and they also cover some stuff on professional wrestling. So it's not the most notable site as far as if you're a diehard wrestling fan. But I came across this and I felt there were a few things in this article worth talking about. The title of the article is Can Anyone Compete with WWE? Now, if you're, a diehard WWE fan, your first thought is probably going to be, hell no. Well, this article covers a broad spectrum of, companies that were started and then fell by the wayside. And also, and I'm not going to touch on those because it's not worth really discussing that in this video. Might be something I'll cover somewhere down the road just as a simple discussion topic. But this is what I'm talking about, is the future of wrestling. I've noticed lately that there is more and more discontent out there with people watching the WWE. Much more frustration than there was, say, I don't know, a handful of years ago. Within the last 5 years, I've noticed the most discontent now more than ever. More and more people are voicing their opinions online, creating the internet wrestling community, and I think people are really looking for a new alternative. Now, of course, there's TNA, and I'm not going to turn this into a big TNA bashing thing. Your first thought may be, oh, well, TNA sucks. It's not even an alternative. And some people are like, oh, it's a great alternative. I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to that. I ride that thin line of, not necessarily hating it, but for lack of better words, loving it and hating it. This article pinpoints two companies, one that is going to be coming to television soon, one that is going to be hopefully coming to television within the next year or so. The Lucha Underground and Global Force Wrestling. First, I'm going to touch on Lucha Underground. If you don't know what it is, this is what it is. It's a company that's coming to television in about a month from now, late October. I believe it's October 29th. It's going to be debuting on the El Rey Network. And if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a new version of Spike TV. It's geared towards males. There's a whole bunch of different cool macho things on the network. Everything from old grindcore movies, some sci-fi stuff, kung fu flicks, a lot of action related stuff. When the network started about a year or so ago, this show, Lucha Underground, is one of the things that was penned on there for original programming, something new, not X-Files repeats, and stuff like that. This is something brand new. And me being a diehard wrestling fan, it caught my eye. So my big question was, okay, so if you're going to advertise the show, wrestling fans are going to, probably bat an eye on it, but guys like me are going to want to know who's on it, Well, this article gives us just a hint of some of the guys that are going to be on it. And honestly, I'm impressed. Um, well, the first name, of course, is not that impressive. He's the guy that runs. See, most of the guys from Mexico's AAA um, company are on the roster of this show, and it's run by Conan, and he's considered, it says on here, the Mexican Hulk Hogan, because he is like the biggest well-known guy that's out there. But yeah, the guys from the AAA promotion, guys that are on the show like Blue Demon Jr., Phoenix, Hijo del Fantasma. I'm not so familiar with those names, but the ones that caught my eye are these next names that are listed in the article. Former WWE standouts Chavo Guerrero Jr. That's a good name. That guy has a, I consider him a good wrestler. This one, John Hennigan, aka, now this is funny, Johnny Nitro. Okay, he may have been Johnny Nitro when he first joined the WWE. I think more fans are going to recognize him as John Morrison. Let me tell you, I have missed John Morrison on the WWE. When he left and didn't re-sign, and I was really hoping that he would have come back within the next year or so, taking some time off, healed up. If he's banged up, whatever, he hasn't come back yet. And I know he's done other shows. I know he's been on Resistance Pro. I think he was even their champ for a while. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look. But I know he's been on there, and he's been touring all over the place. He's done some movies, but I really haven't seen much of him. You just hear little things, little snippets about him in the wrestling news here and there. Well, this is going to be the first big thing that he's been on as far as TV-wise regarding wrestling. So that really interests me. I think he's a great talent. And then says other free agents like Matt Capicioni, who I guess is Matt Cross in the wrestling scene, and Trevor Man, a.k.a. Ricochet. And if you know Ricochet, he's a damn good talent. He's in like the Dragon Gate Evolve companies, if you're familiar with those. If not, check them out. Great high flyer. So those are, a handful of names that are going to be put in with this show. And that, I think, are they going to carry the show? I don't think so. But I think it's worth at least checking out if you know some names that are related to this new Lucha Underground show. So there's that one. Like I said, Conan's running it. It says here later in the article, it says just as intriguing, despite the prominence of AAA wrestlers on the Lucha Underground roster, the show is not being produced by the company. Instead, Mark Burnett, whose credits include Survivor, The Apprentice, The Voice, and Shark Tank, is the executive producer. That's kind of significant, I'd say. While director Robert Rodriguez heads the El Rey network. So, you've got some significant names in there, producing the show, making it happen. Could be another reason to check it out. McMahon, this next part is kind of funny. McMahon has not faced these types of adversaries in a long time. We're working with the biggest power brokers in Hollywood, Conan boasts. These people are geniuses who understand what people want. And then it says the WWE representatives did not respond to the request to participate in this article. They're like, whatever. Not worth mentioning. Obviously not worried about these guys. Well, maybe they should. maybe this is something that's really going to take off and either A, help the network, B, help wrestling as a whole, put another alternative out there. The next one I'm going to talk about, and I've been wanting to talk about this, and we've been hearing such sporadic things about it that I've been waiting for something or the right time, something significant to speak about this company, Global Force Wrestling. If you know TNA and you know the WWE, WCW, Jeff Jarrett has a significant past in wrestling. He is starting this company from the ground up, and he has been traveling around the world making contracts with all these different people. Here, 13 wrestling organizations on 5 continents. That's nothing to sneeze at. He says in here, any network that's lucky enough to land GFW, he proclaims, will hit the jackpot. Like Conan, Jarrett views the professional wrestling landscape as a limitless bounty. The business is as healthy as it's been since the regional territory days, he says. The talent pool is there. If you go into an indie show, you might see 2 or 3 high-quality matches. You wouldn't say that a few years ago. They just need the stage. I have a database with 500 talents throughout the world. I'm not talking about good talent. I'm saying there's great talent out there. That's nothing to sneeze at, guys. That's pretty impressive. Goes on to say, he talks about how he's got contracts with Mexico's AAA company too. So we're liable to see some of those guys possibly on both shows. Also has a contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which, if you've been following the likes of AJ Styles since he's left TNA, he's part of the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is starting to really make some waves in the business. Features guys like I said, AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, formerly Luke Gallows, I don't know what they call him now, Doc Gallows, I guess, according to the article. Davey Boy Smith Jr.'s been in there recently. One of the hottest tag teams on the planet right now, Young Guns, are part of the Bullet Club, along with some other guys that I'm not real familiar with, so I'm not going to mention them or, we talk about them at another time. But just those names right there, there's a great talent pool, just that small group alone in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So the fact that there's all these guys also going to be under contract with Global Force Wrestling, we could very well see any of these guys on both shows. And, if produced well, especially once GFW hits the light of day, I'm going to be very curious to see what Jeff Jarrett brings to the table as far as this new show and this new company of his. So then that goes back. The article goes on to talk about Ring of Honor and some other, stuff that failed in the industry. But, with these 2 shows that I talked about, Lucha Underground and and Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling, it goes back to the original question. Can anyone compete with WWE? If they're smart, they won't try to compete. I don't think that is a smart idea to try to compete with Vince McMahon. Um, if they just try to put good product out there, something entertaining, something not too cheesy, something new for the wrestling fan to watch. You're going to have some veterans in the ring like AJ Styles, John Morrison. I read a couple other names that are tied to the show on another page. I believe Ezekiel Jackson's going to be part of it too. So yeah, there's going to be new stuff out there to watch. How good is it going to be? I don't know. How good is the wrestling going to be? That I can probably tell you it's going to be damn good. Let's just hope that it's produced well and it'll draw some new eyes. I'm certainly going to be keeping an eye out for it. Lucha Underground starts in about a month, late October. That'll come to light of the day first. Then we'll just have to wait patiently for Jeff Jarrett's company to get off the ground. I know he's been searching for a TV deal with a cable company as well. Sounds like he's got the investors. He's just got to make that company public now. So, yeah, I think the future of wrestling is going to be very good. It's probably has not been this healthy since the days that WCW and ECW died. And that was kind of sad back then because, once those major companies got ate up, it was like, well, what else is there? So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. If you're a fan like me, I know you will be too. And not necessarily looking for something, if you're getting tired of WWE, I don't think that these shows are going to necessarily steal viewers, but it's obviously going to start drawing in casual viewers and then draw more diehard fans as well. So we'll see where it goes. Hopefully they're done well. I'll be checking them out. So put it in the comments below. Have you heard of these companies? Are you going to go check them out? Are you interested in them? Or are you, a TNA diehard or a WWE diehard and not interested at all? Put it in the comments below. I'm curious to see what you got to say about them. And they've got websites out there. You can go Google them or whatever. Lucha Underground has their own stuff, along with, at least I think they do. I know they got a Facebook page. They've been slowly promoting over the course of the last week, talking about the TV tapings they're doing. And, Jarrett's putting out little blips here and there about articles popping up about his company. So, yeah, I urge you as a wrestling fan to go check it out. It's good for the industry. It's healthy. It's also exciting for, some of the veterans and some of the new guys too, to go check them out. Definitely worth seeing. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.